You know that moment right before you fall asleep, when you're finally settling in and without even thinking about it, your body just finds its position? Maybe you curl up on your side, maybe you sprawl out like a starfish, maybe you sleep flat on your back like you're lying in a coffin. Here's the thing, you probably never questioned it. It just feels right. But what if I told you that this automatic choice, this position you don't even consciously decide on, is actually revealing something deep about who you are when no one's watching? Look, I'm not talking about some zodiac-level personality test here. There's actual psychology behind this. And the truth is, most people have no idea that their sleep position is basically a window into their subconscious mind. Let me explain. So first, let's get one thing straight. Your sleep position isn't random. When you sleep, your conscious mind, the part of you that's constantly performing, filtering, and managing how you present yourself to the world, that part shuts down. What's left is your raw, unfiltered self. Your body language in sleep is the most honest body language you'll ever have. A study published in the journal Sleep and Biological Rhythms found that people maintained remarkably consistent sleep positions throughout their lives. We're talking about a pattern that starts in childhood and barely changes. Why? Because it's tied to your nervous system, your emotional regulation, and yes, your personality. Now, you've probably felt this before. You try to fall asleep in a different position, maybe because your partner takes up too much space, or your shoulder hurts, and it just feels wrong. You can't relax. That's not a coincidence. Your brain has wired that position as your safe space. It's like muscle memory, but for your emotions. Let's break down the most common positions and what they actually mean. The fetal position. This is the most popular one. About 41% of people sleep this way, curled up on their side with their knees drawn in. Now, you might be thinking, oh, so that means I'm insecure or childish, right? Not quite. Here's what's really happening. The fetal position is a self-soothing mechanism. People who sleep this way tend to have a tough exterior, but a sensitive core. They're often overthinkers. They care deeply about what others think, even if they pretend they don't. Think about it. Curling inward is literally a protective posture. Your vital organs are shielded. It's what your body does when it needs comfort. Research from the Better Sleep Council found that fetal sleepers are more likely to experience anxiety and have a strong need for emotional security. But here's the kicker. They're also some of the most empathetic, creative people you'll meet. That sensitivity, it's not a weakness, it's depth. The log position. Lying on your side, arms down, legs straight. About 15% of people sleep this way, and these individuals tend to be social, easygoing, and trusting, maybe a little too trusting. Studies suggest that log sleepers are often people pleasers. They avoid conflict, they go with the flow, and they genuinely believe most people have good intentions. But what's really happening in your brain when you sleep this way? You're in a state of openness. There's no guarding, no tension. It's almost like your body is saying, I don't need to protect myself. That's beautiful, but it can also mean you're not setting enough boundaries in your waking life. You've probably felt this before, saying yes when you wanted to say no, just to keep the peace. The yearner, side sleeper but with arms stretched out in front like you're reaching for something. About 13% of people do this, and here's where it gets interesting. Yearner sleepers are typically open-minded and curious, but they're also cynical and suspicious. It's this weird contradiction, right? Well, think of it this way. These are people who want to trust, who want to connect, but they've been burned before. The reaching arms, that's desire. The tension in the position, that's hesitation. What's really happening is that your subconscious is stuck between wanting closeness and fearing vulnerability. Yearner sleepers take a long time to make decisions because they're constantly weighing every angle, every possible outcome. The soldier, flat on your back, arms at your sides. Only about 8% of people sleep this way, and honestly, it's intense. Soldier sleepers tend to be disciplined, structured, and have high expectations of themselves and others. They're loyal, they're dependable, but they're also rigid. Here's the thing.
Sleeping on your back in this controlled manner is actually the least vulnerable position you can take. You're fully exposed, yes, but you're also in a position of readiness. It's almost military. Most people never realize this, but soldier sleepers often struggle with perfectionism. They don't relax easily. Even in sleep, there's a sense of duty, of control. If this is you, ask yourself, when was the last time you truly let go? The starfish, arms up, legs spread, taking up the whole bed. About 7% of people sleep this way, and they are those friends. You know the ones. They're loyal, they're generous, they're amazing listeners, but they absolutely do not like being the center of attention, which is ironic because they literally take up the most space. What's happening here psychologically is fascinating. Starfish sleepers are comfortable in their own skin. They don't need to curl up or protect themselves. But that comfort comes with a cost. They often put others' needs before their own. They're the friend who's always there for you, but never asks for help. Sound familiar? So here's where this all comes together. Your sleep position isn't just a quirk, it's a snapshot of your emotional baseline, the version of you that exists when all the masks come off. And the beautiful part? Once you become aware of it, you can actually start to shift things. Look, I'm not saying you need to force yourself into a different position tonight, but I am saying this: pay attention. Notice what your body does when you're stressed versus when you're at peace. Notice if your position changes after a hard day or a good one. Because what's really happening in your brain is this: your body is trying to tell you something about what you need, about what you're avoiding, about who you are when no one else is looking. So here's what you can do starting tonight. First, just observe. Before you fall asleep, notice what position feels natural. Don't judge it, just notice. Second, experiment with gentle adjustments. If you're a fetal sleeper, try sleeping a little more open, arms slightly out, legs less tucked. If you're a soldier, try putting a pillow under your knees to soften that rigidity. Small shifts in body position can actually create small shifts in emotional state. Third, ask yourself one question before bed. What am I protecting myself from today? Or what am I reaching for? Let your subconscious answer through how you sleep. You'd be surprised what you'll discover.
The truth is, your sleep position is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a piece most people never think about. And now that you know, now that you see it, you can't unsee it. So tonight, pay attention. Notice what your body does when you think no one's watching. Because that version of you, the one that shows up in sleep, that's the real you.